Every time I've done a show, I've always looked at the communication element. There are two things in particular that I look at. How simple can I make it for my dance families? Because the more simple it is, the easier it is for them to action what it is I need them to action. When we're dealing with a large volume of students and customers with tight deadlines, let's say costume orders, show sign up forms, licensing, and so on, the simpler the better. Okay. And the second thing I always look at, and this is probably my ultimate tip, is I want to ensure that I have as like no confusion, no space for any confusion. So really thinking about how my communication will be interpreted by the reader, what questions may come out of that email that I will send. I think that is really, really important because what I don't want to do is I don't want to create more work once I've sent out what it is that I've sent out. I want to be able to get on to the next task and keep moving my project forwards, let's say the show. So think about what might you be left open to if you've not addressed it. And I think that's always a really good one to look at. And I remember when I did my very, very first show years ago, I used to get lots of questions that would come back after I send out those initial emails. And of course, I hadn't done it. This was my first show. I didn't know what was going to happen. So each time I've done it, I've sort of known what those questions might be. So how do I address that immediately so that it doesn't become something or doesn't become, an area that might cause confusion. But ultimately, if we can really get on top of our communication with our customers and not feel frustrated when we're being asked questions or, repetitive ones, but instead stop and ask ourselves about why we're being asked those questions, it's a really, really good place to start. Because if you can address that and improve what it is that you're doing in that respect, ultimately you will be able to operate more efficiently to your customers who will be happier because they know what they're doing and where they've got to be and what they've got to do. You will feel happier because your time will be filled less and less with answering repetitive questions and instead focusing on things such as the creative side or your class plans or whatever the next project is that you're bringing together, and that in turn will lead to less stress. So yeah, and I guess happier way to operate your dance school as well.